But if I'm going through the whole panic and denial and shock and acceptance, once you get to acceptance, you start seeing opportunities that you didn't have seen before. Yeah. So for those who are going through that, it's tough time, it takes a lot of readjusting. COVID came, people are halfway in their loans or just have taken new engagements. People have lost properties, people have lost even loved ones. The situation is dire. But for as long as we have life in us, we just have to find a way.
Hello and welcome to The Peculiar People. My name is Victor. Today we are in part 3 of Lucas' story, his guide taking us through his entrepreneurial journey. So if you missed part 1 and part 2, I've left links in the description below. You can follow that and it'll direct you there. But if you're with us in part 3, welcome, be inspired by this story.
Be wary of past success. It creates such a nice comfort zone. But the thing with comfort zones is that nothing grows there. You know? Yeah. So that has been my journey as far as happening is concerned. And now I'm at a point where I'm exiting the business, excitedly exiting the business to new things, but carrying those lessons. Yeah, that even these new things that come, because I'm convinced they will be big, I will be having one eye open as I enjoy riding the wave, knowing this wave is crashing. So ride the wave, but keep an eye on shore. If the shore is getting closer and you're still riding the wave, jump off that wave because before you crash on shore. Yeah. That's the visual that I use.
All right, so talk to us about that season when the business was going down, and how did you manage that, and how did you manage yourself?
It was a messy period, because now the business is going down. So what does that tell you? Money is an issue. Yeah, you're feeling vulnerable financially. And of course, as compared to 2000, here now you have more responsibilities, your family, your mortgages, you need more money, to put it simply. But at the same time, this same business that I should put my head down and grow, I don't have psych for it. It was a very interesting period. Kama biashara ni inaharibika kwa sababu you're not paying attention. See, then you go and focus on it. Yeah, but I don't feel like focusing on it. This is a very... well, like, what's wrong with this guy? And I really feel sorry to my family. Like, I think they were just like, who's this guy who's living in this house? I mean, we don't know you. Even I don't know. Even I don't know this guy. So it was a very difficult season because, again, you're going through emotions or thoughts or periods that you can't say, oh, let me ask so and so because I went through it. I don't know anybody who did. And I think having been in this space a bit longer of questioning such life transitions, you realize many people have a version of shame because you're coming from, I was the guy. People would call me for, what do we do? Call Lucas. To not knowing and being mixed up. So many guys becomes like skeletons in a closet. Go deal with it there and figure yourself out, So it became intense, and I just felt, okay, I'm in this season. I think at sometimes I had a version of depression when I think about it. But I figured, when I look at my children, for example, I figure, hey, you have to get it together, whatever it is, for the sake of this guy. It's no longer just about you. And like back in 2000, I came and I was just responsible for myself and staying in my dad's SQ, So I just had these voices in my head. I felt like I was exploding, because it's like you have, like I said in the Engage talk, like a condition that you will not recover from, and you feel like you're exploding. Yeah. So one time I got a random thought in 2016 going into 17. How about I start writing about these things? Put it on paper, put it out there so that it's like you're fingering like burst the balloon so that you can release the pressure. So talked to a relative of mine who's in the media space. How do people write? What do you write? How do you go about it? Just told me, it's okay. Yeah, get a WordPress thing. I check out a few guys who write. Yungapala, who's also become a friend of mine. I really admire him because I remember he used to write the Mantalk column for years. In fact, he was the reason I would buy the Saturday Nation to read Mantalk. Then along the way, I got to meet Biko Zulu, who's also an amazing writer. And I just started doing my homework on how to write and write well. I got an IT guy who got me a WordPress account to do some writing and just handle those logistics. Soon after, a friend of mine referred me to a master writing class that Biko does, which I did in 2017, which was good, very helpful. And said, okay, I'm going to write. But I was doing all that because I want to write well, not just write rubbish. Write something, write well, articulate your thoughts in a way that it will not just give you relief, but help others. Yeah. And so that's how the blog came, Lucas Marang'a, a man at 40. And on my birthday a few weeks ago was 4 years down of posting every Friday for 4 years.
Wow.
And it's been amazing.
Every Friday.
In fact, I think I was filling a form the other I was doing my medical exam, and you know how they ask you, it was actually a few days ago, and like, so what's your occupation? What do you do? And I said, I'm a storyteller. So of course the nurse is like, okay, let me write that, but what do you mean? You know they expect self-employed, which again was the thing for years, self-employed or business. I'm like, no, I really do enjoy telling stories, and I think that's just my gift, speaking, really. So that's how the blog has been. It's gotten quite some readership, and I'm happy. And the aim is just to share my story, but also just help folks out there who can pick something or two to apply to their situations. Yeah.
All right. So this point that was low, you'd say to give birth to something that is inspiring.
Yes.
Others.
Yes, he did. He did. Because even through telling that story, even how the opportunity for being on Engage came, and Engage has been a wonderful platform. Don and Agatha are wonderful individuals, and I still feel like I'm part of Engage family. And yes, and that's the thing about life, really. Tough seasons, beneath them have some good treasure. Yeah. And many of us give up because we are deep in the matope. And just a little bit more digging, you'll find the gold down there. So yeah, tough seasons. When we speak of lemons, making lemonade, yeah, it was an outcome of that, yeah. But also because I refused to settle. And I think I would easily probably have gone under. I was just by myself, not caring about anything or anyone. But my family, specifically my kids, couldn't give me that option. Yeah, just looking at them there. Yeah. I'm also a proud guy. I want my name to stand for something, Yeah. So yeah. So the tough season gave birth to that, and I'm glad that because what's the worst that could happen? Just start writing. Yeah, if no one reads, you write for yourself. That's actually another thing that Biko told us in the class. Yeah, like play the flute as you're walking down the path. There are guys on either side of the buildings, but play the flute for you. Play the music for yourself. Others may like it, others may not. But that doesn't determine if you continue playing, because you're playing for yourself.
Yeah, I think that's a good one, because sometimes we get discouraged when you start something and you're hoping that you'll get a following or you'll get readership, but you don't get it immediately.
Yeah, and I still feel it. At times when you put out the stuff on Friday and you say, okay, 2 likes. And 2 likes is saying you and one other. As in you're the one guy. Yeah. And stuff. So I remember one time meeting someone who was also a writer, and I'm like, man, this thing is boring. Guys are not reading. So he asked me, do you read my article? I said, yes, I do. Have you ever liked or commented? No. Then many of us are reading, but no one will like or comment. Again, so play the music for yourself, and you'll get your tribe slowly. Yeah.
Okay. So, Lucas, from your experience, being in business over 20 years, what would you tell someone who's just starting?
Two things: just start. Just start.
Yeah.
But also start with the end in mind. Yeah. Because I regret that I started. I didn't give much thought to how would the exit be. You know, like I hear when people are leaving employment, there's even something called an exit interview. The first time I had it, it really baffled me. An exit interview. So your exit means you pick your pen, your laptop, your full scaps, and they give you a wheelbarrow and you go. You know. But an exit interview. So there will never be an ideal time. The time is ideal when you decide to start. That's the ideal time. You know, not when X amount is in the bank or whatever. Again, we live in a time where now there are no more, you can start a business with almost no overheads. And like before, register, as you were saying earlier, put a location or something. There is this cottage industry, people are doing what they're doing from their kitchens. So basically where you live earns you money. Vis-a-vis now go and rent a space or something, yeah. The internet has helped. I believe it's much, much easier to go into business now than it was then. Because of the internet, because of the systems opening up, banks are not as rigid as they were. There are options of places to get money, not just the bank, you know. I know of people who have a credit card, for example, and you know how they give you that 30-day. Maybe your limit is 50K. I'll use this 50K, do with it what I need to do, and by the time the first amount of it, which I think is maybe 5,000 or a small percentage is due, I've paid back. There are creative ways of getting money. You can have family and friends who can lend you money. To me, that was what really set me off, which was quite nice. So I don't want to make it too complicated about starting. You have a passion. You have something that you can give the world in terms of a skill or a product or a service. The world needs it, and you're good at it. And just start dishing it out to the world. How that will take in terms of form or appearance, those are details. Yeah. And also just know a business speaks to you. So even once you start, the business will also tell you, I need this, I need this. Yeah. When I was to move from having a pickup to having a truck, it wasn't my decision. The business just spoke, Ebusi now. Yeah. I remember going to my accountant and him telling me, this is how much you've spent over the last 6 months to hire transport. Would this buy you a truck, even if it's a second-hand truck, or at least pay a loan for a truck? The business speaks to you. So just start. Just start. As you go along, you will learn. The business will communicate to you and you to the business. But somewhere at the back of your mind, just imagine the day when this season will be over. Because I have come to learn that chances of success increase significantly when you're fully immersed and involved and committed in what you're doing now, and having an extra eye somewhere for what is next, looking out for the next. Yeah. So that way you prepare for that next thing when you're still doing well in this one. So the cumulative effect is up, up, up. Yeah, not up, down, then up again, then down. Yeah. That's what I would say for someone who's starting. Yeah. But start something that you're passionate about, that you're good at, because that is a fuel you need to keep you going. Yeah.
What you say there is very important. You know, start with the end in mind, painting that picture. So as a coach, and I'm going to ask you this because you're also a coach. How do you see that playing in either decisions that people make, or just the motivation that they need to get where they need to go?
What now, with the end in mind?
Yeah, with the end in mind.
I think it helps you make smarter and more strategic decisions. When I was running Happening Ventures, the next decision was the next gig. Yeah, not where will you be this time next year? Those are those boring questions you asked in strategy sessions. What do you mean, where will I be? I'll be pitching more tents. What's the problem? You know? I just didn't give it a thought that this might end, you know? So I think when you start and you're enjoying it, in fact, it gives you a positive urgency to make most hay as this sun is shining, which is this business, because the sun will stop shining at some point and shine elsewhere. The cheese will move. I like that book, Who Moved My Cheese? Yeah. Because if you don't think about the end coming, you make the very dangerous assumption that this cheese will remain here. It may remain there. The cheese may not move, but at some point it will start smelling. So you want smelling cheese, no? Yeah. So how can we maximize on this fresh cheese now, and then even use this to prepare us and equip us to even find more better cheese elsewhere? Yeah. So it gives that nice positive urgency. You're fully committed here, but also knowing, let's do this now because tunaenda. Yeah. Me, I moved in and settled and put my feet up. Became fat and lazy. Well, I'm not fat, but I became fat and lazy literally in my mind. Yeah. And thought this thing will last forever. No, nothing does really.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Positive urgency.
Positive urgency.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. And you should probably do a masterclass or something.
We should, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And to someone who is already in business and COVID happened, you know, things are tough. You've experienced that when things are tough.
Yeah.
What's your 2 cents to that?
Yeah. Go through the motions. I remember, like for me, beginning of last year, it was panic, denial, and then warming up to it, and then finally accepting the circumstances. So go through the emotions. Don't shortchange any stage. You know, yeah, that's just how to do it in a healthy manner. So right now, for example, for me, we are selling stuff in my business. We have a lot of inventory. We have many people coming who are starting this event business or maybe continuing in other parts of the country, and even some in Nairobi, and they are buying this stuff. Yeah. So for my experience, COVID helped me realize, yeah, you've been feeling it's time, it's really time now. And I'm doing it so excitedly, like happy to live. I've done what I could. Would I have done better? Probably so. But it's a waste of time thinking, oh, I should have, would have, should have. So when COVID comes and you go through the panic, shock, denial, and finally acceptance, again, like in anything in life, there are other opportunities in a crisis. Yeah, and I guess we miss them because we focus on like, oh, tumeisha. Yeah, events are a big deal. Yes, events will still come back. People will still meet. As long as there are people on this planet who are created as social beings. So Zoom will not replace that. Yeah, it may alter it slightly, but won't replace that. Once it's safe to interact freely, we'll all go back to an event. Yeah, so the question is, you can decide to wait for that time. You don't know how long it will take. Or look for new cheese. Yeah. For me, getting into coaching was part of that new cheese. Over the years, I would be invited to places to be a business mentor or coach. But I realized I'm just doing it. Someone one day called me Coach Muitu, you know. Because again, you don't be those guys. What do you do? I'm a coach, and you're, you know, it's a loosely used word. Eh? Yeah. Oh, I'm a consultant. You know, it can mean anything. You know. So I went back to school and learned how to be a certified coach, the coaching profession, learned the science. That was about 2 years ago. This was before Corona, so I guess it was just preparing me for this season. And secondly, also went back to school to refine my hobby of photography, which before I would just do nicely, casually. And those two have made me some little money. And I believe I'm more equipped to even get on better opportunities, impact lives in a bigger way, because that's my purpose, to use my skills and influence to positively impact people's lives and communities, and to use those things, those new skills that I've sharpened. So to me, COVID has gifted me. I use the word gifted me. Yeah, I remember I've had 2 or 3 exhibitions of photography so far. And I did an article on my blog recently called Corona Chronicles. You know, yeah, see what has come out of these ashes. You know, yeah. But after going through the whole panic and denial and shock and acceptance, once you get to acceptance, you start seeing opportunities that you didn't have seen before. Yeah. So for those who are going through that, it's tough time, takes a lot of readjusting. COVID came, people are halfway in their loans or just have taken new engagements. People have lost properties, people have lost even loved ones. The situation is dire. But for as long as we have life in us, we just have to find a way of getting by. And not just getting by, but attempting to thrive. Because others are, so why not us? Yeah. So go through the motions, but there could be such an opportunity that is just under your nose that this pandemic has created a fertile ground for. You know, I have a relative who loves baking, and to her, business closed. She has an oven in her house, like they just bake here, sell to the neighbors. Now can't meet demand. Yeah, because those same people you are selling to now are not coming to your restaurant. Deliver. Yeah. You know, like, wait a minute. So now I can just use this money, buy a bigger oven, but still in my house. The landlord is not charging you more rent because you're baking. Rent ni ile. So I mean, look at all that. Yeah, so as long as we have breath in us, really, the opportunities that come up every day, yeah, just a matter of our mind shift to see them.
All right, so thank you very much, Lucas. I think you have, your story is unique, it's very interesting, and we have something to learn from there. Thank you very much for being here and sharing with us what you have shared with us. We appreciate you being here.
Asante. Yeah. Thanks for the invite, Victor.
Karibu sana.
Yeah.